ബാബുവിനെ കുറിച്ച് എനിക്ക് പറയുവാനുള്ളത് ഏകദേശം 31 വർഷത്തെ പരിചയം എനിക്ക് ബാബുമാണ്. എന്നാൽ എൻ്റെ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് ആദ്യം ഓടിയെത്തുന്നത് ബാബുവിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുമ്പോൾ ആദ്യകാല CSI സഭയുടെ വളർച്ചയ്ക്കും ഉന്നമനത്തിനും വേണ്ടി ബാബു എന്തുമാത്രം കഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു എന്നുള്ളത് ഓർക്കുമ്പോൾ CSI സഭയെക്കുറിച്ച് പറയുമ്പോൾ ബാബു കുറ്റം കൊള്ളുന്നു. CSI സഭയ്ക്ക് ചിക്കാഗോ പട്ടണത്തിൽ ഊർജവും ഊഷ്മാവും പകർന്നു നൽകുകയാണ്. പ്രത്യേകിച്ചും നമ്മുടെ ആദ്യകാല പട്ടക്കാരും മേൽപ്പട്ടക്കാരും ഇവിടെ LSTCയിൽ പഠിക്കുവാൻ വന്ന കാലമുണ്ട്. CS ഫിലിപ്പ് അച്ഛൻ, KK ചെറിയാൻ അച്ഛൻ, നൈനാൻ മാത്യു അച്ഛൻ, ബിഷപ്പ് ആയ ജോർജ് എസ് തിരുമേനി, KP തിരുമേനി, ഇവരെല്ലാം LSTCയിൽ പഠിക്കുമ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് താങ്ങും തണലുമായി ബാബു നിന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇതൊരു യാഥാർത്ഥ്യമാണ്. പുള്ളിക്ക് ചെയ്യാവുന്ന സഹായങ്ങൾ LSTCയിൽ നിന്ന് വീട്ടിൽ വിളിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് വരികയും വീക്കെൻഡുകളിലൊക്കെയും വീട്ടിൽ അതിഥി സൽക്കാരങ്ങളിൽ മുൻപനായി നിന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഒരു CSI അംഗത്തെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം പട്ടക്കാർക്കും മേൽപ്പട്ടക്കാർക്കും അവരെ ബഹുമാനിക്കുകയും ആദരിക്കുകയും ചെയ്ത ഒരു മുതൽ വ്യക്തിയാണ് നമ്മോട് വ്യത്യാസം. മരണം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് മറ്റൊരു ലോകത്തിലേക്കുള്ള നാം മരണത്തിലേക്ക് ഒരു ദിവസം കൂടെ അടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നു എന്നുള്ള യാഥാർത്ഥ്യം ഇന്ന് നമ്മെ ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടി നാം എല്ലാവരും പോകുന്നത് ഒരേ വീട്ടിലേക്കാണ്, മരണത്തിലേക്ക്. ലോകത്തിലെ സകല സുഖ സൗകര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മൾ നേടിയാൽ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും ഒരുപോലെ കിട്ടാൻ പോകുന്നത് 6 മണി. ഇതെല്ലാം ഒരു യാഥാർത്ഥ്യം. എന്നാൽ പ്രസക്തമായ ഒരു ചോദ്യം നമ്മുടെ മുന്നിൽ അവശേഷിക്കുന്നത് മരണത്തിന് ശേഷം എങ്ങോട്ടാണ് നാം പോകുന്നത്? ആ വ്യക്തത നമുക്കുണ്ടോ? ഈ ശരീരം വിട്ടാൽ ക്രിസ്തുവിനോടുകൂടെ എന്നതായിരുന്നു പൗലോസ് അപ്പോസ്തലന്റെ ഉറച്ച വിശ്വാസം. ആ പൗലോസ് അപ്പോസ്തലൻ തൻ്റെ മരണത്തെ നോക്കി ഇപ്രകാരം പറയുന്നു: എൻ്റെ ഭൂമിയിലെ ഈ കൂടാരം ഒളിഞ്ഞു പോകുന്ന ദിനം സമാഗതമാണ്. ഭൂമിയിലെ ശരീരം ഒളിഞ്ഞു പോകുന്ന കൂടാരമെങ്കിൽ സ്വർഗത്തിൽ തനിക്ക് സ്ഥിരമായ ഒരു നിക്ഷേപം. മരണത്തിലൂടെ കടന്ന് മരണത്തെ ജയിച്ച് ഉയർത്തെഴുന്നേറ്റ യേശുക്രിസ്തു ബൈബിളിലെ അവസാന പുസ്തകമായ വെളിപ്പാട് ആളുകളുടെ പേടി സ്വപ്നമായ മരണത്തെക്കുറിച്ച് പുനർനിർവചിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത് ഇങ്ങനെയാണ്: ഭയപ്പെടേണ്ട, ഞാൻ മരിച്ചവനായിരുന്നു, എന്നാൽ ഇതാ എന്നേക്കും ജീവിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു. മരണത്തിൻ്റെയും പാതാളത്തിൻ്റെയും താക്കോൽ എൻ്റെ കൈവശം. മരണത്തിനപ്പുറത്തേക്ക് നീളുന്ന പ്രത്യാശാനിർഭരമായ ഒരു ജീവിതം നയിക്കുവാൻ, ആ സത്യേക ദൈവത്തിൽ ആശ്രയിക്കുവാനും ആ ദൈവത്തെ അറിയുവാനും അനുസരിക്കുവാനും അനുഭവിക്കുവാനും അനുഗമിക്കുവാനും ദൈവത്തിൻ്റെ പരിശുദ്ധാത്മാവ് നമ്മളെ സഹായിക്കുവാനാണ്. ബാബുവിൻ്റെ അടിയുറച്ച വിശ്വാസ ജീവിതം സേവനത്തിനും നല്ല ദൃഷ്ടാന്തങ്ങൾ നമുക്ക് ദൈവത്തോട് ആ നല്ല ഓർമ്മകൾക്കും ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടി CSI കോൺഗ്രിഗേഷൻ ഷിക്കാഗോയിൽ CSI CSI Council of North America.
First of all, on behalf of the family members, I'd like to thank you all for being here, celebrating your Bob Uncle's life. It's quite funny how you sometimes recognize the impact somebody has on your life when they're gone. And when I was writing this little speech here, honestly, I had a very hard time. Because I don't think words can describe the impact he had on all of our lives, each and every individual, and particularly our family. I always like to refer Bob Uncle as like a very complex person. He was very complex, but very charismatic and charming. See, in our family, I'd say all the men in our family, except for Bob Uncle, we're not the charismatic group. But Bob Uncle always had a way, like he knew how to dress, he knew what to say, compared to my dad including. So he was always that person who knew how to do, didn't have to tell. And there was always a lesson for us. We learned a lot from him like that. But there's one thing, he could figure out almost every problem, every situation, he could figure it out. But there's one thing he could never be. And I always remember it was the TV and the remote control. He could never figure that thing out. And fortunately, I was the guy who had to fix it most of the time. I would get the phone call, "Can you come over?" And I kind of knew, it was probably to fix the TV. So, even my last conversation with him, when I last talked to him was in November. When I came from Houston, my last conversation was, I was fixing this TV. I don't have a lot of memories of Bob Uncle like when I was young, but one of my most distinctive memories of him is I was probably 4 or 5 years old. We were in Kerala, in our house in Kerala, and we were in the fields. There was me and Bob Uncle, and I'm having this full-on conversation with Bob Uncle. I was not the brightest of the group there, it was 4 or 5, but he was actually having this full-on conversation with me. And I don't remember much of the conversation, but there's something about that conversation I remembered was that he was kind of like encouraging me, or he was saying, you're a good kid, Nobody else, I can't remember any of my other uncles or aunties or anybody doing that as much as, but him, I remember him doing that particularly. Bob Uncle also was, like I would say, a very big motivator. He had a very distinctive way, probably like a very odd way to get the best out of us. To be frank, sometimes it was the old-fashioned Kerala style, wire kavarachin. But one thing, regardless of how much we upset him or how much he was upset with us, there's one thing about him. He never let us go. He stood by us. He made sure amongst all our family members, he's the one person he'll come into us to hell with us and back. He was always there. We always knew when anything goes wrong, just one phone call away. Bob Uncle, please help us. And he'd be there. Honestly, I'm very honored to have been part of my life. But I know he's going to a better place. And then he's going to be watching over us. His suffering on earth is over. But till we see you next time, Bob Uncle, we love you. We thank you. I promise your legacy will live.
To kick, raise the ball match. He was a person always wanted to swim against the waves. And he never allowed himself to surrender when the pressures come on his life. He wanted to fight. Always he stood for justice. He loved everyone. He never gave charity. But he opened his arms lavishly to the people who are in need. For example, the first time I visited him with my children, he loved them very much. When they left the house, he took 2 piggy banks. You all know the TCF bank. He gave them the empty piggy banks and told the children, learn to save from your enemies, so that it will help you when you really need something. It will help you to avoid asking people for help. Now both piggy banks of my children, they are twins, are almost full now. Almost full now. And I still remember, not $100 check, $10 each. He gave to both my boy and girl. He said, this is my first gift to teach you how to save lives. We all are connected to this man only because of Ben, basically. Yes, Merkudian is a member of Christ Church. I mentioned me, all these sections, you could see them up on. I don't know how Ben inherit that kind of a great attitude from us. We all know what has happened in his life. Morning is right with us, Usha, Nishas, all of us. He loved the family. The reason why he approached me, he just wanted to bring the kids back to him. He was always telling, I said, can you just tell them, Charles, I want to see. I did some mistakes in my life. I just want to say sorry to them. And it happened when Ben visited him when he was hospitalized. He literally folded his hand and said, Ben, if I did any mistake, forgive me. I'm sorry to say. Such a person. When I met him first time, he said, Achan, don't pray for me because God won't listen if you pray for me. I am such a messy person. I messed up my life. But once Ben visited him, he said, Achan, now I trust in the prayer. My prayer is being heard. My son came and visited me. That from that day onwards, he became a true believer. I am sure that he will be in the heaven. Unconditional love he experienced from the Lord. He was keep on calling me. And he clearly said, Achan, this is my last talk. On Wednesday, he had that heart attack. Just 2 days before the Sunday evening, he called me, Achan, I won't be able to talk to you. This is our last talk. I told, what you are talking? No, my heart is heavily aching. He said, Uncle, you have to go to the hospital. No, my doctor said there is no remedy. Already 9 stents put in my heart. There is no hope for my doctor. He is a great man, Dr. Aula. He said, if something happened, tell everybody forgive me. Pray for me. Pray for me, actually. That was the last talk we had. I'm sure that the family will continue that legacy. The family did a lot of good things. Rajandy, you all, Sujandy, Abhicha, you all did. Rajandy, you all did wonderful work. This is how we learn from the Lord. When people may started to act differently, we have to learn how to see good things from that. We have to figure out which are the virtues this man exemplifies. How can we take life positively? With this, I conclude, and I'm sure that Ben wanted to say a big thanks for all of you. He took all the responsibility. When Rajan called me and said, "Can you just inform Ben Balchan had a severe heart attack?" He came, and he is with the family. He is sleeping in one of the uncle's house now. He is with his family, and I'm sure that he is the reincarnated Balchan for you, the family. I'm sure that. I'm sure. Then will come and say, both one, Rojan and then will come from, and they will.
Those who know my father and I well will know our regular place in the church is usually in the back. Normally, we don't sit in the front. And, I always say, I never like sitting in the front because I think you get a better view from the back. That's what my father always used to say. And for me to be sitting in the front today, and for my father to be in the front, it's a big change, for both of us. I'll say being in the front is never fun, especially for this kind of service. But at least today, I'm grateful to all of you for coming. And when we say thanks, sometimes they get so worn out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But what I mean to say is, the fact that all of you came from long distances, some cases, I think 2 friends came from another state. It's not an easy thing. And, this is the day after the holiday. A lot of us, some people had trouble getting off work and those kind of things. And the fact that you came, even yesterday or today, and that you came here to Elmhurst, means today we're all together as one family. It's not like just in the front row, these are the family members. No, all of us are together. And that's why I sincerely hope when you look in this front row, Dambianco, Sujianti, Reggianti, that those of you will continue to help them. I mean, obviously everybody else too. Let's not forget Zanako. And because for the last 18 years, Reggianti, Dambianco, and Sujianti, and I'm also the other family members too, but you 3 in particular have done quite a bit. I mean, poor Reggianti. I mean, she was basically living out of the hospital for a bunch of days. I mean, so and of course, Dambianco and Sujianti, I mean, I know he was a big part of your lives. But the reality is, like Thomas Hutchin told us, our bodies here are temporary. And really, we are going to our Lord. And if we really believe, when we come for the Kurbana meaning communion service every Sunday, and if you really believe in all of that, we shouldn't be sad today. Because when I had to make some tough decisions, I did it with the understanding that we believe in this. And I wanted him to go home to his mother and father and to be with our risen Lord. And if you really believe in that, then today we should be happy for him. We see, like Thomas Hutchin told us, we may see a body today. And when he was with us, we should be so grateful he was with us. So if I thank everybody individually, if I thank one person, I'm going to forget maybe 10 others. So all of you know, how you guys, work things out and what you did. Sooner or later, when I get my thank you cards, I'm a big procrastinator. And see, that's one thing my father always used to say, don't wait till the last minute to do things. So I remember I was with Johnson Uncle. We were planning the funeral, and Judge Yankee and Johnson Uncle. And when I was planning the funeral, one thing I was really thinking about was, if I don't do it right, he's going to come out of that casket. And he's going to say, you spent too much money. And then we're going to have a double funeral. No, we don't want that. No, I want to be part of the living, but no. But really, when we say love and concern, again, that's kind of a tired saying. I mean, I remember yesterday some aunties and uncles I hadn't seen in 15 years. This one uncle I hadn't seen in that long. He came from Texas. I'll never forget what that uncle said. His daughter said, Dad, I think Babu uncle has died. And this uncle said, which Babu uncle? The Babu uncle from Oak Lawn, because my father's from the village of Oak Lawn. He said, no, that's impossible. No way he's dead. And this daughter said, no, I really think, Daddy, you need to go to Chicago. And then he says, I won't believe it until I see the picture. So Achin, put it in the Malayalam paper. And Reggie Auntie found this beautiful picture of my dad. That's the funny thing about him. He'd always wear this one shirt that Reggie Auntie got for him. Even though we would buy him new shirts and things like that, he'd only wear that silly shirt. I don't know. But, it's not a silly shirt because, of course, it's from Reggie Auntie here. And he loved her a lot. Benjamin made some reference to this. The real humor about him sometimes is when he would get angry. Actually, that was kind of funny, in a way. And that's what kind of, when he said it out of love, really. But one person I never seen him get angry at was Reggie Auntie. Reggie Auntie could do no wrong in his eyes. And I don't know, Reggie Auntie, you had to tell me your secret, how you can be that perfect. But, I'll close by saying I want to really thank Roy Chan here. I mean, he's really helped me out quite a bit. In the interest of full disclosure, Roy Chan's father and my father's father are brothers. So, but even though he's a cousin, he's more like a brother to my father. And he's like an uncle to me. And Roy Chan, thank you for standing up here with me. And I appreciate all of you being here. I mean, I know all of you have so much going on this time of year with studies, with church obligations, and those kind of things. But the fact that, a bunch of you were in the room as he died, because, I'm not very well versed in Indian traditions, as many of you know, and these sessions are helping me go through all this. So, Achins, thank you. And again, all of you, thank you. Those who came yesterday, obviously, thank you. And I know over the coming weeks and days, you guys are going to be doing a lot. But again, my final request is help my auntie and uncle here, because, and Reggie Auntie too, and my other aunties and uncles, because they're going to need you the most. So, again, thank you all so much.
Listening to Ben, my thought was, we are serving a God who is a God of second chances.
Yes.
People do work during their lifetime, achieve tremendous amount of things. Babu was a silent worker, and as I told yesterday, he's one of those unsung heroes. But I think one of the greatest things